This week from Al-Musawat Radio. Al-Musawat Radio is the right place to know everything. Welcome to all of you, dear listeners. This is the weekly news coverage coming your way with this week from Al-Musawat radio station. And the beginning goes with the Department of Care for People with Special Needs, Kirkuk branch, latest activities. The Department of Care for People with Special Needs, with cooperation and coordination between the Women's Freedom Organization Kirkuk branch, and after obtaining the fundamental approval by the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, the Care Department Kirkuk branch was visited by Fatima K. Fildin and George Omar, during which they met with Director of the Department, Mr. Ahmed to learn about the mechanism of work and the events we are allowed to perform in orphanages and homes for the elderly. The staffs of the Women's Freedom Organization's Kirkuk branch participated in the workshop held in the province of Kirkuk on the importance of youth work. A security source has reported a woman was stabbed to death owing to family conflicts in the center of the capital. The source said a woman filed a police report that a person known to her stabbed her sister several times with a knife, which resulted in her death owing to a family conflict in Al-Kindi neighborhood in central Baghdad. The source illustrated that the body was transferred to the Forensic Medicine Department to complete the legal procedures, pointing out that the police were able to arrest the perpetrator after identification. A female activist has clarified that women who were released from prison often no longer wander in public places, indicating that Taliban forced them to remain silent. Taliban organized a demonstration in Bayman province of Afghanistan on April 14th, during which it called on the students of the province's university to forcibly take part, aiming at showing the world that the Afghan people support Taliban. By a vigil organized in front of the Municipal Theater in Tunis, Tunisian Feminist Dynamic, which is consisting of a number of associations, expressed anger over what called disruption of gender equality course, despite the fact that this right is constitutional. Women who raised placards with slogans against the presidential referendum said, "We are living in a time during women are under humiliation, so that we condemn by saying no to social stigmatization, no to moral stigmatization. Honor is represented by dignity and fair pay. No to manipulating our rights. No to the violation of the 2014 Constitution, which approved women's rights." A video posted on Chinese Weibo showing men harassing and beating women at a restaurant has sparked outrage. The incident of women get beaten by men at a restaurant in the city of Tangshan, northeastern China, has reignited controversy over misogyny, promoting state media to seek the punishment of the perpetrators. A video recorded by security cameras and posted on Chinese Weibo social media, a man approaching a table at a restaurant barbecue, putting his hand on a woman's body, beating her when she pushed him away. International Organization for Migration's Chief of Mission in Niger has stressed the need for enhancing efforts for combating human trafficking and providing assistance for the victims. International Organization for Migration has confirmed that women and girls in Niger are the most vulnerable to human trafficking, consisting 69% of victims and survivors of human trafficking in the country. International Organization for Migration's Chief of Mission in Niger, Barbara Ricks, said that the study is based on the work with the government to protect and assist victims of trafficking in the country, adding that the study will contribute to strengthening counter-trafficking efforts, including awareness efforts, and provide need-based assistance to the victims of trafficking. The Anti-Trafficking in Women in Iraq held its 14th conference in Baghdad during the period from June 3rd to June 4th in the presence of dozens of women's and human rights organizations. The first day of the conference was held in the hall of the Women's Freedom Organization on Al-Zaim Street and was dedicated to non-governmental organizations and feminist figures, while the second day was at the Baghdad Hotel. The conference was held under the title Developing a Shelter System, Protecting and Empowering Women in Iraq. An investigation conducted by an international agency revealed serious violations of the laws governing cosmetic medicine in Egypt, threatening the lives of millions of women and leaving some of them distorted for life. In Egypt, you must be a dermatologist or plastic surgeon to inject Botox or fillers, and even laser hair removal requires the supervision of a qualified doctor. But dozens of unqualified people were found to work in the field of cosmetology in flagrant violation of Egyptian laws and regulations. Thousands of boys were chained, beaten, and ill-treated in Islamic schools in Sudan, an investigation by an international media bloc revealed. There were about 30,000 of these schools known as khalwat throughout Sudan, where children are taught to read, write, and memorize the Quran. The investigation involved secret filming inside 23 retreats over 18 months in Sudan. The national media organization in Egypt announced the opening of an urgent investigation into the attack of a broadcaster by a radio director. A recorded video circulated on social media showing that one of the broadcasters of the Central Delta Radio, which belongs to the regional radio network, was humiliated and insulted by its executive director on the same radio. In a statement on Wednesday evening, the authority expressed its categorical rejection of any kind of abuse by word or deed against any of its employees, whatever the reasons and circumstances. The end of this week's news coverage. Stay tuned to Al-Musawat radio station. Please accept the best regards from me, your host, right here behind the mic, Taif najjar, and from the producer right there behind the mixer, Hisham alkhayat. Join us next week. Have a nice day and goodbye.